So you wanna know how I draw characters in perspective? It's definitely something I've been working on for some time now. So if you're anything like me, you might be less interested in drawing like structure lines, make cubes to represent the form and shape. I think those are very important, but I'm not gonna talk about those in this video. I'm gonna show you how I personally draw perspective in my characters, and it might not be the best tutorial you have ever seen, but it's the something that's been working for me. It's the way I like to do. So how do I start? Drawing the hands. I'm usually starting with the hands because it's usually the part I'm drawing closest to the camera, so it makes sense to get that right first. Plus, it kinda sets stage for the rest of the drawing. So, why the hand first? It usually helps me establish the perspective and proportions just by drawing the hand. If the hand looks right, the rest of the character tends to fall into place more naturally. So, makes sense, right? Okay, so assuming you did a great job on the hand, if you didn't, you can just try again, or you can even take one of my hand drawing in the video just for practice. Next stage is what I call is the imagine phase. This is where I sketch out basic shapes to get a rough idea, but this is not certainly like drawing whole characters with like mannequins or frameworks too much, because to be honest, I like to draw a bit more freely and adjust as I go. You might wanna use perspective lines in your artworks if you want. Let's add some depth to our character. We are going to make it look like parts of the body are closer to us and other parts are farther away. Positioning the torso and face. We are going to draw the torso and face. Remember, these parts are a bit farther away from the hand, so they should be a bit smaller. We're gonna add some foreshortening. This means making parts of the body that are closer to us look a bit bigger and parts that are further away smaller. So what kind of works for me is that I draw the hand first, then draw the feet. This makes it so that I can see the furthest edges of my drawings. Face and the torso in the middle is kinda easy to achieve because we already know our boundaries in the drawing. If you have a hand, a face, a feet, and a torso, just get the hand and the feet connect to the torso and the face. Depending on your character, this might be hard. My character is kinda easy to draw, so you just get the part of the arm that is closer to the hand a bit bigger, and while it is going to the torso, it is getting smaller and smaller. And same goes for the feet. In this artwork is farther away, so I kinda made it so the part that is closer to the feet is getting smaller, and the part that is connected to the torso and the lower part of the body is getting a bit bigger. So it kinda gives that feeling of perspective and the 3D space. So the last step is to fancy up the drawing, which I mean, this is where I add all the details and facial features, clothing, texture. I also work on shading to give the character some depth, but it's not really necessary if you're just trying to learn some perspective and don't get too much into detail. It's like bringing the character a bit more movement. You can see how the character might be moving just by seeing the clothes or textures or features on the character. I pay attention to the light source and how it affects the shadows of the light. So hopefully this was helpful. If you didn't get it the first time, maybe try again. This is not a perfect method, I know, but it works for me. So only one tip I'll give in this video is that I have a feeling, I guess some of you already know quite a lot of maybe perspective from other videos. I think there is only one thing you need, maybe. This is my opinion, but I think maybe you just need to practice. Yeah, I know that's kind of boring, but maybe just try to draw 100 characters, adding perspective to them. And maybe It will roughly take 1 to 4 minutes on one character, but if you do this, you could probably learn perspective faster than watching hours of other similar content. And yeah, have a safe drawing time, I guess. Safe trips or something. I need a punchline at the end. And yeah, the end.